Sammy Davis Jr.'s lightning draw silenced Steve McQueen when the King of Cool questioned whether the Rat Pack's toughness was real or just Vegas showbiz manufactured for the cameras. The most dangerous entertainer in Hollywood looked at McQueen's cocky challenge and decided it was time to prove that some men earned their reputation through skills that could kill, not just thrill audiences. What happened in that Nevada desert would demonstrate that entertainment legends sometimes possessed capabilities that exceeded their stage personas, and that questioning the wrong man's authenticity could result in education delivered at 0.2-second intervals that left no room for doubt. The desert winds suddenly carried the scent of genuine respect, being earned through methods that Vegas stages couldn't teach. If you want to witness the untold stories of entertainment's most lethal confrontations, subscribe now. Nevada Desert, 25 miles east of Las Vegas, where the entertainment capital's glittering facade gave way to harsh landscape that had shaped harder men than Hollywood could imagine. The training ground had been established in terrain that provided complete privacy from civilian observation, where different kinds of education could be conducted according to standards that entertainment industry couldn't acknowledge without destroying carefully constructed public images. The makeshift shooting range occupied territory that looked desolate to casual observers but provided perfect conditions for activities that required isolation from witnesses whose curiosity might compromise operations that served purposes beyond recreational firearms instruction. Metal targets stood at precise distances, while equipment tables held weapons that reflected serious rather than casual approach to marksmanship. Sammy Davis Jr., 43 years old, moved through the desert environment with confidence that had been earned through experiences that most entertainers couldn't imagine. His compact frame carried authority that extended beyond stage presence to include practical capabilities that had been acquired through circumstances that required genuine rather than performed toughness. Fresh from another successful Vegas engagement, Davis understood that his public persona represented only a portion of capabilities that had been developed through necessity rather than choice, when circumstances required authentic responses to challenges. His famous versatility as performer reflected deeper understanding of human psychology and situational awareness that served purposes beyond entertainment. Today, Davis was conducting private instruction that would address misconceptions about Rat Pack authenticity that had been circulated by people whose understanding was limited to surface observations that didn't account for backgrounds some performers possessed through experiences that preceded their celebrity status. The Rat Pack had been dismissed by critics as manufactured toughness designed for publicity purposes rather than authentic brotherhood between men whose individual capabilities had been tested through circumstances that required genuine rather than performed responses to challenges that most civilians couldn't handle without extensive preparation that some entertainers had acquired through necessity rather than recreational instruction. Steve McQueen, 39 years old, approached the desert training ground with skepticism that reflected his reputation for questioning authority and challenging assumptions about authenticity that might be based on publicity rather than proven capability. His pale blue eyes surveyed the shooting range environment with tactical awareness, but his assessment was influenced by preconceptions about entertainment industry colleagues whose toughness might be based on screen personas rather than genuine capabilities. Fresh from establishing himself as Hollywood's most credible rebel, McQueen approached this encounter with confidence that his preparation exceeded what most entertainers possessed. Sammy, McQueen announced his voice-carrying challenge that made it clear he'd come to test rather than acknowledge claims about Rat Pack authenticity that might be based on publicity rather than proven capability when that capability was measured according to standards that eliminated favoritism in favor of objective assessment of genuine versus manufactured competence. Steve, Davis replied, acknowledging McQueen's legendary status while maintaining composure that suggested he wasn't intimidated by reputation that might be based on screen presence rather than practical capabilities, when those capabilities were tested by people whose expertise was earned through circumstances that entertainment industry training couldn't adequately simulate. Heard you boys in the Rat Pack like to talk about being tough guys when you're drinking and gambling in Vegas casinos, where the biggest danger is losing money, rather than facing situations that require authentic, rather than performed responses to challenges that test whether proclaimed toughness serves practical purposes. The insult was delivered with casual cruelty that made Davis understand McQueen was attempting to provoke response that would either confirm his suspicions about manufactured Rat Pack toughness or demonstrate that some entertainers possessed capabilities that exceeded their public personas according to standards that measured genuine rather than assumed competence through practical demonstration. "What kind of toughness do you think we're missing, Steve?" Davis asked, his tone carrying curiosity that mixed with controlled intensity, suggesting he was prepared to address McQueen's challenge through methods that might exceed verbal discussion to reach territory where authentic capabilities would be measured through demonstration rather than claims about superior preparation or experience. The kind that gets tested when circumstances eliminate protective variables like publicity departments, insurance policies, and studio security that keeps entertainment industry tough guys safe from situations where inadequate preparation means consequences that can't be corrected through better coaching or additional practice sessions conducted under controlled conditions. McQueen's response revealed his fundamental assumption that entertainment industry toughness was based on manufactured rather than authentic foundations, that Rat Pack reputation was publicity creation rather than reflection of genuine capabilities that had been earned through experiences that preceded and exceeded their celebrity status according to standards that required proof rather than assumption. "You think our preparation has been limited to entertainment industry instruction that serves dramatic rather than practical purposes," Davis observed, understanding that McQueen's challenge was based on limited information about backgrounds and capabilities that some Rat Pack members possessed through experiences that weren't documented in publicity materials or discussed during interviews that focused on entertainment rather than authentic personal history. "I think your preparation has been adequate for impressing audiences and critics who don't understand what authentic toughness actually requires, from people who claim to possess capabilities that transcend entertainment to serve practical purposes when circumstances test whether proclaimed competence can survive measurement according to objective rather than subjective standards. Then let's measure our respective preparation according to standards that eliminate subjective assessment in favor of objective demonstration that proves authentic rather than manufactured capability," Davis replied, moving toward equipment table where weapons were displayed according to professional rather than recreational standards that reflected serious rather than casual approach to marksmanship instruction. The challenge had been accepted, transforming verbal disagreement into practical demonstration that would determine whether Rat Pack authenticity was based on genuine rather than manufactured foundations, whether entertainment industry preparation could produce capabilities that exceeded McQueen's expectations about what performers could achieve through systematic study with authentic rather than entertainment industry sources, quick draw contest, standard gunfighter distance, chronometer timing to eliminate subjective assessment. Davis announced, understanding that objective measurement would provide clear rather than ambiguous results that would determine whose preparation was based on authentic rather than assumed understanding of what practical marksmanship actually required from people who claimed lethal capabilities. "What weapon?" McQueen asked, recognizing that equipment selection would affect results according to familiarity and comfort level that different performers might have developed through training with specific firearms that serve their individual preparation requirements better than weapons chosen for convenience rather than optimal performance characteristics. Colt .45 Single-Action Army. Standard gunfighter weapon. No modifications except basic maintenance that ensures reliable function without providing unfair advantages that might compromise fair assessment of individual rather than equipment capabilities, Davis replied, selecting weapon that represented historical rather than modern approach to quick-draw techniques that required specific rather than general marksmanship skills. McQueen examined the offered weapon with professional attention that revealed systematic training with similar firearms. Understanding that authentic quick-draw capability required familiarity with specific weapon characteristics that affected timing, accuracy, and reliability when those factors determined success or failure according to objective rather than subjective measurement standards. Agreed, though I should warn you that my training wasn't limited to Hollywood instruction designed to look impressive for cameras. I've worked with people whose expertise was based on practical, rather than entertainment purposes that required genuine, rather than performed understanding of what lethal capabilities actually demand from practitioners. And I should inform you that Rat Pack authenticity wasn't manufactured for publicity purposes. Some of us acquired practical capabilities through circumstances that preceded our entertainment careers, experiences that taught lessons about survival that Broadway stages and Hollywood studios couldn't provide through any amount of professional coaching or technical instruction. The exchange revealed that both men possessed confidence in their respective preparation, but also suggested that assumptions about each other's capabilities might be based on incomplete information about backgrounds and experiences that had shaped their understanding of what authentic rather than performed toughness actually required from people who claimed lethal competence. Professional chronometer equipment was positioned to record precise timing that would eliminate subjective assessment in favor of objective measurement that could be verified and compared to established standards for professional rather than recreational quick-draw capability that served genuine rather than entertainment purposes when such capabilities were tested under conditions that eliminated protective variables. Regulation distance. Signal from chronometer. Draw and fire on electronic tone. Timing recorded from signal to shot impact on target. Davis explained, establishing measurement criteria that would provide fair rather than biased assessment of individual capabilities according to standards that professional gunfighters would recognize as legitimate rather than entertainment industry approximation of authentic competition. McQueen adopted stance that reflected systematic training with qualified instructors whose knowledge was based on practical rather than theoretical understanding of quick-draw techniques. But his positioning revealed subtle tension that suggested confidence that might be based on assumptions about opponents' capabilities rather than certain knowledge of competitive advantages that would determine outcome. Davis positioned himself with relaxed confidence that came from understanding his own capabilities according to standards that had been tested through circumstances that eliminated doubt about practical effectiveness, creating psychological atmosphere that suggested his preparation exceeded what entertainment industry instruction could provide through conventional rather than specialized training methods. "Ready," Davis announced, his voice carrying authority that filled the desert environment. The electronic signal came without warning. Davis's draw was invisible to human perception, his weapon appearing in firing position with mechanical precision that eliminated wasted motion while maintaining perfect accuracy. The shot echoed across the desert. 0.2 seconds. Perfect center mass. The electronic timing system announced, recording professional gunfighter speed that proved Davis's capability was authentic rather than manufactured. McQueen stood silent, acknowledging that his assumptions about Rat Pack authenticity had been challenged by demonstration that exceeded his expectations. "Hell," McQueen said quietly, his voice carrying professional respect. "That's professional gunfighter speed with precision that proves your training was based on sources whose expertise was earned through circumstances that most actors couldn't access." "Your turn," Davis replied, understanding that fair assessment required reciprocal demonstration. McQueen's draw was fast and accurate, demonstrating systematic preparation, but timing measurement revealed significant difference when compared to professional level that Davis had demonstrated. 0.42 seconds. Excellent accuracy. The chronometer recorded, documenting capability that was impressive according to entertainment industry standards but represented substantial difference compared to Davis's professional gunfighter speed. Impressive shooting, Davis acknowledged, but professional gunfighter capability requires specialized training that serves practical rather than dramatic purposes, instruction that most entertainers can't access without compromising their public images. "Where did you learn to draw that fast with accuracy that proves professional preparation?" McQueen asked, his tone carrying genuine curiosity. "Sources that understood survival in certain environments required practical knowledge about lethal capabilities, people whose instruction was based on necessity rather than recreational interest when circumstances required genuine rather than performed demonstration of dangerous skills." As the Nevada sun climbed toward levels that would make extended outdoor activity dangerous for anyone who valued comfort over educational opportunity, both men understood that their encounter had revealed important truths about authenticity, assumption, and respect that should be given to capabilities that exceeded public perception, according to standards that measured genuine rather than manufactured competence. "Sammy," McQueen said as they prepared to conclude their demonstration session, "I owe you an acknowledgement. When I suggested that Rat Pack Toughness was manufactured for publicity purposes, I was making assumptions based on entertainment industry standards that don't account for individual backgrounds and capabilities that some performers possess through experiences that preceded their celebrity status. And you've taught me something valuable about the relationship between reputation and assumption. Your preparation was based on systematic study that produced genuine capability, but professional comparison requires acknowledgement that specialized rather than general instruction creates advantages that serve practical rather than just dramatic purposes, when circumstances require authentic rather than performed demonstration. Years later, when people discussed Davis's reputation for authentic rather than manufactured toughness, they would reference professional demonstrations that had proven his capabilities exceeded entertainment industry expectations. McQueen's respect for Rat Pack authenticity would be reflected in subsequent interviews, where he acknowledged that some entertainers possessed capabilities that exceeded their public personas. Subscribe for more untold stories of entertainment's most authentic demonstrations, where legends proved their capabilities through results rather than reputation.